So this video is a video recording the idea of getting the concept from the image we see to an actual wire piece. So first I'm going to do some drawings. I've got my dancer with that action energy we were looking for. And I did just a quick goofy sketch of it and went, okay, I got to understand what's going on here. So I went and I copied on top of it. And I just did a really quick gesture sketch on top of that drawing. And then from there, I did a couple more gesture sketches, looking at the actions that I saw the most, the really key features, and kept on sketching and resketching those. So I came up with something like this, sort of a blend between the first two. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take two pieces of paper, because I don't have a piece of paper big enough to help me get the size I want. I just taped them together with some Scotch tape evenly, so they wouldn't create a bump or anything. I'm just using them to sketch. I taped them down to my table so I'd have less things moving on me, because as you'll find out, the wire moves stuff around a lot, and so just kind of nailing some of those things down will really help. So I've got my source material, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by figuring out, well, how do I get that main line, that main gesture? So I do a couple of just warm-up sketches with no lines whatsoever. And then eventually start doing those core lines. And if I couldn't figure out the angle, if I can match it with my pencil and not move my pencil, I can almost make the same angle on my piece of paper. So I'm trying to figure out the body, the different features to it, what I'm seeing, looking at my drawings, looking at the actual image, trying to adjust things as I see them, and getting my gesture sketches on the page. So you can see I'm just holding the middle of the pen to the end of the pen. I'm not trying to be too tight with it. I'm almost sketching like I'm painting. Consider yourself just really loose scribbling. The more loose you can get it, the more energetic your lines will be. And even if they look scribbly, you can always edit. And you'll see me in just a moment taking two new pieces of paper, because I thought, this is a little, just a little too thick. I can't see the original lines, and I want to simplify this. So I took another piece of paper, taped it together with a second one, and then I overlaid that on top. And I could see it because I used a marker. So now with my image still at hand, taped down my second sheet, I was a little bit more careful with the lines I wanted to see. Kind of looking at them, referring back to my original image, and just kind of still sketching with it, trying to create that energy of fabric moving around, the body moving around, and hair moving around. And this is still just my guide, because I'm going to have to put wire on here. So I may change some things, but it gives me a good sense. I can look at it and think, yeah, that if I was to render this with wire, I think I'd like the way that looks. And feel free to do this process a couple times before you get it right. If you need to, you can put your paper on top of a window and kind of use that as your light box if you want. So here I am with some wire, and what I'm doing is I'm not really too worried about connecting the wire. I really want it to look like I am literally copying the lines I made with wire. So I kind of see how far the line can go. You can see it sort of crosses the body there, but that's okay. I could always cut it out if I want to. But right now, what I want to have are enough pieces of wire giving that idea that I'm sketching not once, but twice or three times along a leg or along an arm. So a simple little ellipse like that can help copy the forearm gesture. And I can always cut off pieces that go too long. Right now, I don't know quite yet what's going on, so I'm not going to make those choices until I start to really assemble it. So right now, if what you're doing is trying to figure out how to draw it, what wires you want to put on top of it to give it that sense of drawing with wire, then you're in really great shape. So this is sort of a video to help get you jump started on that. You can pinch corners, pull them apart, redirect them, curve them with your pliers. So use what you can for that. And some of these look really weird on their own, but when I overlay them with the second or third wire in there, they start to look like a whole bunch of lines put together to create volume and form. Here I am trying to work on the hair. A lot of swoops back and forth. So I try and bend the wire and squeeze it and pull it apart, bend the wire, squeeze it, pull it apart. And by squeezing it, I get a really sharp point, which is what I was trying to emulate with the hair. And the last couple of frames is just putting the wires on there, kind of getting them settled.